The mind has a tendency to view a landscape, such as the one around me, as separate from the me, from the I. But just think about a dream for a second. Where does the landscape in a dream come from? And as you walk through that landscape in your dream, it seems separate from you, just like this one does. But upon awakening, you notice that that dream landscape arose entirely within your mind. Well, I'm telling you right now, this isn't much different. It is the presence that held the dream landscape, separate from the presence that holds this landscape. The mind has invented space-time, and therefore concludes distance. But it's all arising within awareness, the awareness that you are, here and now, whether you're walking through a dream landscape or walking through what we call physical reality landscape. It all arises within one continuum, and that is awareness. And you are that. It's the same presence that holds the mountains, that holds the river, that holds the rocks and the sky. It's the presence that holds all of nature and all of existence that you are. You are this presence right here and now. Is this presence divided? Is the mountain behind me and the river below me in a separate presence than I am? I am that presence. You are that presence. And that presence is alive and aware and infinite. It holds all of this. I am that. I don't know if you can hear it in the mic, but I was just sitting here listening to the wind. And then I was listening to the space holding the sound. Do you notice the space holding the sound? Do you notice the space holding the vision? Do you notice the space holding the sensations in your body right now? Do you ever notice the space between your thoughts? If not, I invite you to. I invite you to notice the space that holds everything, the space that holds existence. Because ultimately you are that, right here and right now. I invite you into it. Join me here. Well, as I reflect on what non-duality has given me, it's given me essentially okayness. It's given me the pleasure of just being. It's given me the realization and quiet contentment that nothing's missing, that I don't need to seek or search for anything outside of this direct moment. It's also given me a permission slip, essentially, to enjoy the mundane, because in the mundane is the divine. In the most simple aspect of here-ness is the fullness of everything, the fullness of life. Life looking like all of this. When I talk about life in this way, I'm not really talking about just biological life. I'm kind of talking about a living essence, the aliveness that's here, that animates even what we would call inanimate, like these rocks or this water. There's just a quiet joy that pervades all circumstance. You really don't need to make anything be other than what it is in any moment. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that deep peace, that quiet joy, that deep contentment? That's essentially what is here upon non-dual realization. When I talk about non-dual realization, I'm not really talking about just a mental understanding of what non-duality is or means or implies. I'm talking about what actually happens in your direct experience, how your life changes. Realization is kind of like a catalytic, energetic event in which your perspective changes and never changes back. It's a freedom that never leaves. You realize that what was here before your birth, it will also be here after your death. And that is what you are. You are that essence that saw you come into existence, that saw you come into incarnation. There's no needing to change any of this. And I hope you come here at some point in your life. I was looking down at Whitewater River right there below me, and I just laughed when this sort of spontaneous realization came upon me that the river doesn't care where it's going. It doesn't know where it's going. It doesn't try to predict where it's going. It just goes. From an outside perspective, you could say that there seems to be friction there. There seems to be turbulence there. Sometimes it seems violent when it flows or breaks through a dam. You could say all sorts of things are happening. You could say that it takes great effort for the river to flow through a blockage. But does the river actually experience any sort of effort or difficulty? Does the river worry about where it's headed? Upon non-dual realization, your life really becomes like the river. You no longer worry about where you're headed, where you're going. And all effort that seems to happen is spontaneous and necessary in the moment. And it doesn't seem to come from you. It doesn't seem difficult. It just happens. It's almost like a happening through you. It's much more like a cosmic unfolding than a me doing anything. The river is a good analogy for life. A lot of things in nature are a good analogy for life because they just are. They're just being. Not a whole lot of cognitive worry happening, planning happening, just being. And this just being nature is one of the greatest gifts of non-duality, of self-realization. The realization that essentially there is no self, there is just happening. Cosmic unfoldment, near the awareness within which all of it's happening. Effortlessly so. The invitation's open. It's always open because it's always here. It's the only thing that's here. Your mind has created an illusion of separation that just isn't true, and I can help you see through it. I invite you to our next Wild Satsang Non-Duality Club meeting. They're always free. Go on the website, put your email in, and you'll get notified of the next one. I hope to see you there. All my love.
If you found this video helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you. All my love.